Hey friends, today we're going to be doing some harvesting and preserving of herbs. Now I'm starting a series that's going to be called Harvest and Preserve, and these are just going to be like quick, simple videos harvesting things in like maybe small increments and just showing you how I am preserving them each time I harvest. So I hope you guys enjoy this series. Definitely give the video a like, hit the subscribe button if you enjoy the content, and let's go ahead and pick some herbs. So the first thing I'm taking is the mint. Okay, I'm sure there's some bugs in here somewhere. So I haven't been really good about harvesting the mint, y'all. I've cut it back a couple of times. Like, we harvest a little bit, but there have been at least like 2 cycles of me having to just cut the mint back completely because I let it get overtaken by like blight or something on some of the leaves, and or bugs made a haven in it. But cutting it back, like, you know, mint grows vigorously, and it will definitely reset itself to where you can get some nice pretty mint off of it. So I do want to actually dry quite a bit of mint. It's nice to have to be able to cook with, but also just to make like little spritzers and drinks. I also just don't want to grow it to waste it. So I said this time I will not let the harvest go to waste. We'll go ahead and cut it back, spur some new growth, and this time I'll dehydrate it. I actually want to move this to a bigger pot. I want it to be able to stretch out just a little bit more, but I'm not going to do anything like crazy because I just don't need that much mint. But I think this is a pretty good harvest. So I actually have my water ready and waiting in the house. I'm going to go ahead and dump these in, and then we'll come back and cut the thyme. So this thyme I have cut, I believe, twice as well. And one time I did have to like cut it just to cut it, because again, it was in here with sage and the bugs had kind of like taken over the sage, and I just didn't want the thyme to be affected by it, so I cut it back quite a bit. But I did harvest like one time like a really good amount, and I went ahead and froze it. And if you didn't know, like, thyme actually freezes really well, and I'll say that about any kind of thick stem herb. These freeze really well in their just like regular form. Obviously you wouldn't necessarily want to use them fresh per se, and I say fresh like, you know, if you were trying to garnish or something with fresh thyme. But as far as like holding its flavor, being able to not really be compromised in like its ability to, you know, where you can use like a few sprigs and it will actually flavor your food really well. I've never had an issue. I just throw it in a pot, remove the sprigs like I would normally, and that's it. And I've had thyme frozen even before I started like growing it. So you can freeze this without, you know, having to do much of anything. Just clean it really well, and then put it in a bag, seal it tightly, and you're good to go. And this is quite a bit of time. I haven't opted to dry it for the simple fact that I have so much dried thyme already, and I'm not just gonna throw out something because I bought it from the store, because now I'm growing it, right? So I really don't need to dry it. I really like the idea of using the thyme that we're growing fresh. And this is good too. So like harvesting, I watered these yesterday. Having it cut back, I'm actually going to fertilize like the plants today, and then that should give it what it needs to like just go ahead and grow back vigorously. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these inside, and that's a pretty good harvest of thyme. Get them soaking really quickly, and then once I'm done getting these two things into the dehydrator, I'll come back and do the lemon balm and peppermint. And all I did was put some of the castile soap in this with a little bit of salt and some ice so that the herbs can stay crisp while they're soaking. After I do this, I will go ahead and rinse these really well, wash them down with a quick vinegar rinse. You don't want to leave the herbs in the vinegar too long, because that can actually affect the herbs and the quality of it. You'll end up getting like black spots if you leave it too long. But yeah, so the ice is just to keep them cold and crisp, and then I'll let that soak for a few minutes. This one especially while I'm taking care of the mint. But that's the extent of it. So once I get these rinsed and dried, I'm gonna throw them in a dehydrator. And that'll be it for today. So all that thyme should fit in this little baggie. I just labeled it. I almost put August, so that's why I scratched out. But garden thyme, cleaned, ready for use. And the reason I do that is just to give myself a little bit of reassurance that I actually cleaned these. Some days we get a little tired. You may forget and you're like, did I or did I not clean these? So I put the reminder on the bag, that way I do not forget and I can be certain. And once the thyme is dried, I will put it in here, throw this in the freezer, and then the mint is gonna go in the dehydrator. So I went ahead and dried these as best as I could with a clean kitchen towel, and all I'm doing literally is throwing them in this bag. Now what you can do if you want to dry them out a little bit more is, now that they're in the bag and clean, just sit a paper towel inside, let it soak up any like residual moisture that the towel could not get out. And then, you know, let it sit for like maybe 5-10 minutes and go ahead and throw them in the freezer. But this is basically the second bag like this that I got. So if I wanted to just use like my thyme, I think this is probably about a year's worth. It might even be a little bit more, because when you're using fresh thyme, you don't really need a lot of it to flavor whatever you're trying to flavor. But I absolutely could probably not harvest any more thyme for myself and be totally fine. What I am thinking about doing, and I'll mention this here, is I think I want to join Farmish and kind of start to offer like little things for sale, because there are some plants that just produce way more than a family of 2 can consume. Eggplant is definitely one of those plants. So, you know, rather than the food just sitting or wasting, because I'm not really doing a lot of composting at the moment, I'd rather get it out to people that can benefit from it and that want to buy like garden fresh or farm fresh produce. But if I do that, I will mention it for sure in another video when I set it up. And if you are in the area or close enough and you're interested in purchasing, then I will absolutely let you guys know that, and that stuff will be in the description box added to the other things that I have listed in there. So I squeeze out all the air, and that's it. Thyme is preserved. So this is the mint, and I'm actually going to spread this out on 2 towels because I do have to do a little bit more picking with this, because the leaves, some of them, not all, but some of them are a little bit questionable. So I just want to make sure. So like this is a good example. Like definitely don't want that in my preserved stuff. All right, friends, that's all we're doing for today. I'm gonna save the lemon balm and the peppermint for episode 2. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick harvest and preserve video. I appreciate you for spending time with me in the kitchen and in the garden today. Don't forget to check out our affiliate links below. If you like the video, definitely like, share, and subscribe. Until our next garden update. Bye.